far away, in a galaxy filled with stars and strange worlds. The greatest event of the century was about to begin. The alien Empress, ruler of the vast and powerful Xylarian Empire, made an announcement that shocked everyone. She said she would choose her next mate from among the strongest warriors of the galaxy. Not by a quiet choice, but by a grand contest, where 80,000 fighters would come to compete. The winner would not only gain her hand, but also the power to rule beside her. This news spread quickly to every corner of the galaxy, and soon thousands of warriors started their journey to the Empress's home planet, Xylaria. Among these warriors were fierce fighters from many worlds. Some had sharp claws, some had strong armor, and some could control strange powers. They all dreamed of winning the Empress's favor. The contest was to test strength, skill, and courage. It was said no one had ever lost who fought with all their might. Many believed this would be the most brutal battle the galaxy had ever seen. In the middle of all this excitement, there was a human named Jason. Jason was different from the others. He was quiet and calm, not showing much interest in the contest. Unlike the warriors who prepared their weapons and trained every day, Jason did not enter the competition. He did not shout or show off his strength. People laughed at him and said, "Why is he here? He won't even try." Jason did not care about the noise or the fights. He walked slowly to the Empress's palace, watching the crowds and the strong warriors. Many wondered why he was here if he did not want to fight. Some thought he was weak. Others thought he was foolish, but Jason had a secret, a quiet strength inside him. He was not here to fight like the others. He came with a different purpose, one that no one understood yet. The day of the contest started with a loud roar. Thousands of warriors gathered in the great arena. The Empress sat on her throne, looking down at the crowd with sharp, bright eyes. Her blue skin and silver hair shined under the bright lights. She was beautiful and powerful, but also proud and not easy to please. She raised her hand, and silence fell over the arena. "Welcome, warriors of the galaxy," she said, her voice strong and clear. "Today, 80,000 of you will compete for my hand and the future of the Xylarian Empire. Show me your strength, your courage, and your will to lead. But remember, true power is more than just fighting. It is the heart that guides us all," she said, her eyes searching the crowd. Many warriors cheered loudly, ready to begin. But Jason stayed calm, watching quietly from the back. The first round began with fierce battles. Warriors showed their power and skill. Explosions, flashes of light, and sounds of clashing filled the arena. Many strong fighters fell quickly, but some showed great promise. The crowd watched with excitement, cheering for their favorite warriors. But Jason did not move. He stayed still, calm, and silent. The Empress noticed him. She looked at Jason with curiosity. Why did he not join the fight? Was he afraid, or did he think himself better? Her eyes held a question no one could answer yet. As the day passed, many warriors gave their all. But Jason remained apart, watching and listening. When the day ended, the Empress spoke again. "Many have fought bravely, but only a few will move forward. Tomorrow, the battle will grow harder and the stakes higher. I watch not only your strength, but your spirit," she said. Then she looked at Jason and said quietly, "And you, human, why do you watch and not fight?" Jason met her eyes and smiled faintly. "I am here for more than a fight, Your Majesty. I am here to understand, to learn what true power means," he said. The crowd gasped. No one expected such words from a silent man. Some whispered among themselves, could this quiet human be different? Could he be the one who will change everything? That night, as the stars shone above Xylaria, Jason sat alone in his room. He thought about the Empress and the great contest. He knew many warriors wanted her crown and power. But he wanted something else, something deeper. The Empress was not just a prize to win. She was a leader with hopes and fears. And Jason wanted to be someone she could trust. The next day, the contest would continue. Warriors would fight harder, and the Empress's eyes would watch closer. But Jason had already begun a different journey, one that did not need weapons or battles. A journey to win a heart, not a throne. The challenge of the century was not only about strength or skill. It was about courage, understanding, and a quiet power that no one expected. And in this great contest, a silent human stood ready to change the fate of the galaxy. The sun rose over the grand arena on Zelaria. The air was thick with excitement and tension. Thousands of warriors waited, ready to fight for the Empress's favor. But among them, one figure stood apart, calm and quiet. Jason, the human. The crowd was loud, cheering and shouting for their champions. Many strong warriors showed their power openly. They shouted battle cries, raised their weapons, and challenged each other without fear. But Jason did none of this. He moved slowly, watching everything carefully. He never raised his voice or joined any fight. People whispered and stared. Why does he not fight? He is wasting his chance. Some said, maybe he is too weak to try. Others laughed. But Jason paid no attention. He had no desire to prove himself through noise or violence. His strength was silent, hidden deep inside. The Empress watched him from her throne, her eyes sharp and thoughtful. She was used to warriors showing their power loudly, but Jason's quiet presence was different. Mysterious, she wondered what made him so calm in the middle of chaos. Was it fear, pride, or something else? The second round of the contest began. Warriors clashed with swords, lasers, and strange weapons. Explosions lit up the arena, and the ground shook from their power. Many fought hard to impress the Empress and win the contest. But Jason stood on the side, observing quietly. A young warrior from the planet Kellner rushed toward Jason. "Why don't you fight, human?" he shouted. "Are you scared to lose?" Jason looked at him calmly. "I am not here to fight like you," he said softly. The warrior laughed and walked away, not understanding the human's quiet strength. As the battles continued, something unexpected happened. Jason's calmness began to affect others. Some warriors stopped fighting just to watch him. They wondered why he did not join the fight. Some felt a strange respect for his silence. Others were confused and angry. The Empress smiled slightly. She saw in Jason something the others did not see, a strength that was not shown by weapons or loud voices. She wanted to know more about this human who did not try but still held the attention of everyone. Later that day, the Empress called Jason to her private chamber. The warriors watched as he walked slowly toward her palace. No one knew what to expect. Would the Empress punish him for not fighting? Or was she curious about his strange calm inside the palace? The Empress looked at Jason with a new respect. "Human, why do you stay silent when others shout and fight?" she asked. Jason bowed slightly. "My Empress, I believe power is not only in the fight, it is in the heart, the mind, and the courage to be different," he said. The Empress studied him closely. Her eyes softened. "You are different from all others I have met, but can your quiet strength survive the battles ahead?" Jason smiled faintly. Strength is not always loud or violent. Sometimes the strongest are those who choose peace when others choose war, he said. The Empress was silent for a moment. She had never heard such words in a contest like this. Her heart felt a strange pull toward the human. Could he be the answer to something she had long searched for? Meanwhile, in the great arena, the contest grew fiercer. Many warriors fell, their hopes crushed. The crowd cheered for the strongest and bravest. But Jason's quiet presence remained, a calm shadow in the storm. As night came, Jason walked through the palace gardens. He thought about the Empress and the strange power she held. He knew the contest was about much more than winning. It was about trust, understanding, and true leadership. The next day, the contest would become even harder. Warriors would fight with new weapons and tactics, but Jason prepared for a different kind of challenge, one that no one could see or hear. Back in the crowd, whispers spread like wildfire. Is the silent human a fool or a genius? Can he really win without fighting? The mystery of Jason grew with every passing hour, and the Empress watched, waiting to see if the quiet human would show the true power of the heart, a power stronger than any sword or weapon. The challenge was no longer just about strength. It was about the courage to be different in a world that valued only the loudest voices. And Jason, the silent human, stood ready to change the course of the contest. The sun was low in the sky, painting the palace walls with soft gold light. Inside the Empress's private chambers, a quiet moment waited. Jason, the silent human, had been summoned once again. This time, the Empress wished to speak with him alone. Away from the noise of the contest, the room was large and beautiful. Filled with glowing crystals and soft cushions, the Empress sat on a carved throne, her blue skin shining in the warm light. Her silver hair flowed like a river down her back. But today, her eyes held something new, something softer and more serious. Jason bowed as he entered. "My Empress," he said respectfully. "Please, sit," she said, with a gentle smile. Jason took a seat across from her, curious about what she wanted to share for the first time. The Empress spoke of things she had never told anyone. She spoke of the heavy weight of her crown, how many years she had ruled her people with strength, but how loneliness had grown in her heart. The great power she held also brought great pain. "I am called the Empress, but sometimes I feel like a prisoner," she said softly. "Many try to win me for my crown, but few see the woman behind the title. Few understand the fears and hopes I carry inside." Jason listened carefully. He did not interrupt or judge. His calm presence gave her the courage to speak more. She told him about the wars she had fought, about the enemies who wished to steal her throne, and about the friends who betrayed her trust. Her voice trembled slightly as she spoke of the loneliness she had kept hidden. "I wear this crown, but I fear what comes after me. Who will lead with kindness and strength? Who will understand that power is not just about ruling with an iron fist?" Jason nodded slowly. He saw not a distant ruler, but a woman tired and searching for something real. "You carry a great burden," he said softly. "True leaders are not those who fight to win alone. They are those who listen, who protect their people with heart. Your strength is not in your crown, but in your care for your people." The Empress looked at him with new eyes. No longer just a contestant or a stranger, but someone who understood her soul. In that quiet room, a secret passed between them, not of power or weapons, but of trust and hope. Outside the palace, the contest roared on. Warriors fought with fury and pride, but inside, two hearts connected in a way that no one could see. The Empress knew the contest was more than a fight. It was a test of spirit, of truth, and Jason, the silent human, was showing her a new path. She wondered if this quiet strength could save her empire, and perhaps her heart, as the stars began to shine outside the palace windows. Jason stood and bowed. "Thank you, Your Majesty, for trusting me with your secret," he said. She smiled softly and nodded. "Tomorrow, the contest grows harder, but now I see the true meaning of power more clearly." Jason left the chamber with a new purpose. He was not here to win by sword or fight. He was here to win trust and change the future. The Empress watched him go, her heart beating with hope and fear. Could this silent human be the one to bring peace to her world? The days passed quickly on the planet Solaria. The contest for the Empress's hand grew fiercer with every moment. Warriors sharpened their weapons and trained harder. But Jason, the quiet human, continued to move through the palace halls with calm and purpose. At first, many thought Jason was weak or lazy. But now, more and more people began to notice something different about him. He did not fight like the others. But he had a strength no weapon could match. The Empress saw this clearly. And something inside her began to change. One afternoon, Jason and the Empress found themselves alone in the palace gardens. The air was filled with the sweet smell of alien flowers. Soft light filtered through strange glowing trees. They walked slowly together, talking about things far from the contest. The Empress shared stories of her childhood, of the heavy expectations placed on her from a young age. How she was trained to be strong and cold to survive, but how she secretly longed for friendship and understanding. Jason listened quietly. He did not try to fix her problems or offer empty words. He simply shared his own story in return, how humans often struggled to be understood in a galaxy that feared difference. How sometimes the strongest warriors were those who showed kindness, not force. Their conversations grew deeper with each meeting. They talked about peace and war, about leadership and sacrifice. The Empress began to see Jason not just as a stranger, but as a friend who cared without judgment. This friendship surprised many. Some warriors whispered behind their backs, "How can the Empress trust a human who refuses to fight?" Others were angry and jealous. They could not understand why the Empress would spend time with someone so quiet and weak. But the Empress did not care about their words. She saw something in Jason she had never seen in the other warriors. A quiet courage that spoke louder than any battle cry. One day, a group of warriors challenged Jason. They demanded to know why he did not join the fight. Jason did not raise his voice or draw a weapon. Instead, he spoke calmly. "I fight in my own way," he said. Not with swords or violence, but with patience and understanding. The warriors laughed and called him a coward. But the Empress stepped forward and silenced them. "This human is not like the others," she said. "He shows strength in ways you do not understand." Her words shocked the crowd. The warriors stepped back, uncertain. The Empress's voice was strong, and her will was clear. Jason's friendship gave the Empress hope. She began to imagine a new future for her empire. One where strength was measured by heart, not just by force. That night, the Empress sat alone in her chambers, thinking about the contest and the strange man who had stolen her attention. She knew the battles ahead would be difficult. But she also knew that with Jason by her side, things might change. Meanwhile, Jason prepared quietly for the next phase of the contest. He knew that his path would not be easy, but he also knew that friendship and trust could be the greatest weapons of all. The galaxy watched closely as the Empress and the silent human grew closer. Some hoped their bond would bring peace. Others feared what it might mean for the future. The unexpected friendship between the Empress and Jason was a light in the darkness. A reminder that even in the midst of war and competition, true connection could change everything. And as the contest moved forward, Jason and the Empress faced the future, not as ruler and subject, but as allies united by something stronger than power, a friendship that could shake the very stars themselves. The great arena of Zolaria was filled with roaring crowds. Excitement and tension hung thick in the air after many days of fierce battles. Only a few warriors remained. The strongest, the fastest, and the most skilled fighters stood ready to face the final test. Jason, the quiet human, stood apart from the others. He did not hold a weapon nor show signs of anger or fear. Many warriors looked at him with confusion and doubt. How can he win without fighting? They whispered, but the Empress watched him with a different gaze. Her heart filled with hope and curiosity. The final battle began with a thunderous roar. Warriors charged forward with powerful strikes, swords clashed, and energy blasts lit the Sky, the ground shook with the force of their attacks. Each warrior fought not only for the Empress's hand, but for their own pride and honor. Jason remained calm, moving with quiet purpose. He avoided the fights, watching carefully. When a fierce warrior from the planet Drakkar rushed toward a weaker fighter, Jason stepped in without hesitation, with swift moves and gentle strength. He stopped the attack and helped the injured warrior stand. The crowd gasped in surprise. No one expected Jason to act this way. Not with violence, but with kindness. The Empress's eyes shone brightly. She saw that true strength was not just winning fights, but protecting those who could not protect themselves. As the battle continued, the warriors grew tired, their energy drained from endless fighting, but Jason's calm remained. He moved silently. Helping those who stumbled, his actions confused the crowd. Some called him a coward, but others began to admire his courage. Suddenly, a powerful warrior challenged Jason directly. He laughed and said, "You will never win without fighting. Human, step forward and face me." Jason looked at him calmly. "I do not need to prove myself with violence," he said softly. The warrior grew angry and attacked. But Jason did not fight back. Instead, he dodged and used the warrior's own strength to stop him. The arena fell. Silent, the crowd watched in shock. No one had seen such skill and control. Jason's way was different, not to destroy, but to stop the fight. The Empress stood and spoke. "This contest is not only about power, it is about the spirit behind the power." Jason shows us that strength can come from peace and courage. He is the warrior who wins without bloodshed. The crowd slowly began to cheer. Some warriors lowered their weapons. They understood that this battle was changing. No longer just a fight for a throne, but a fight for a new way of thinking. As the final moments approached, the Empress raised her hand. "Jason, step forward," she said. He walked slowly toward her. The crowd held their breath. The Empress looked at him. "With deep respect, you have shown me something no one else could. You have shown me the true meaning of strength, not just fighting, but protecting, understanding, and leading with heart." Jason bowed humbly. "My Empress, I seek not only to win, but to help build a future where peace is stronger than war," he said. The Empress smiled and took his hand. The crowd erupted in cheers. A new champion was born. One who did not win by fighting alone, but by showing a strength greater than any sword. The contest was over, but the journey had just begun. Jason and the Empress stood together, ready to face the future with hope and courage. After the contest's final battle, the crowd cheered loudly for Jason, the silent human who had won the Empress's heart without fighting. But the Empress knew the real test was still ahead. Winning a contest was one thing. Winning the trust and respect of an entire empire was another. In the quiet halls of the palace, the Empress led Jason to a hidden chamber, a place few had seen, filled with ancient symbols and glowing stones. "This is the chamber of the true test," she said softly. "Every ruler must face this trial before they can truly lead." Jason looked around, curious but calm. He did not fear what lay ahead. The Empress explained, "This test is not about strength or skill. It is about courage, trust, and heart. You must face what lies inside and prove your true power." Jason nodded slowly. "I am ready," he said, quietly. The chamber doors closed behind him with a low hum. Inside, the room was dark, except for a small light in the center. Jason stepped forward as he touched the light. A vision appeared before him. He saw a future filled with challenges, a world where peace was fragile, where enemies waited for weakness, but also a world where hope and kindness could grow. The vision shifted to show Jason's own fears, doubts about his worth and purpose. Whispers of failure echoed in the darkness. "Can you lead when others doubt you? Can you protect when you are alone? Jason took a deep breath. He remembered the Empress's words. True strength is not loud or violent. It is the courage to face fear with calm and hope. The vision changed again, showing people he had helped. The Empress, the warriors, even the children of Zalaria. They looked to him with trust and hope. Jason reached out and touched the light again. The chamber filled with warm energy. Jason felt strength fill his heart. He saw that his true power was not in fighting, but in leading with kindness and courage. Suddenly, the chamber doors opened. The Empress stood there, watching with proud eyes. You have passed the true test, she said. Your heart is strong, your courage clear. You are ready to lead. Jason stepped out into the bright light of the palace. The crowd gathered to welcome him. Whispers of admiration and hope spread quickly. The silent human had become a symbol of a new future, but not everyone was happy. Some warriors still doubted Jason's strength. They whispered of rebellion and unrest. The Empress knew the road ahead would be difficult. That night, she met with Jason. Under the stars, your test was just the beginning, she said gently. The real challenge is winning the hearts of those who fear change. But I believe in you, and I believe in us. Jason smiled softly. We will face it together, he said. With courage, trust, and hope, the stars shone brightly above. Zalaria, a new chapter was beginning. One where a silent human showed that true power comes from the heart, and that sometimes the greatest strength is found in peace. The great contest was over. The crowd still buzzed with excitement and surprise. No one had expected the quiet human, Jason, to win the Empress's heart. He had not fought like the others. He had not shouted or showed off his power. Yet, he had stolen something far greater than any crown: her trust and love. In the palace, the Empress stood beside Jason. Her eyes shone with pride and warmth. For the first time in many years, she felt peace in her heart. Jason's quiet strength had broken down the walls built by years of war and loneliness. Word spread across the galaxy about the contest and its unexpected end. Many were shocked. Some were angry. How could a human win without fighting? They questioned, but slowly, minds began to change. People saw in Jason a new kind of leader, one who ruled with kindness, courage, and understanding. The Empress and Jason walked through the palace halls together. The people bowed with respect and hope. Their friendship had grown into a bond that inspired many. The galaxy was watching a new era begin. Jason understood the challenges ahead. He knew winning the contest was only the start. The real task was to unite many worlds and people, to build a future where peace was more powerful than war. One evening, under the shining stars, Jason and the Empress spoke quietly. We have changed many minds already, but some still fear what they do not understand, said the Empress. Jason nodded. Change is never easy, but with trust and patience, we can show them a better way, he said softly. The Empress smiled. Your heart was stolen without a fight, and with it, you have stolen the future of this empire. Jason looked at her and said, I did not come to fight for a crown. I came to stand beside you, to lead with hope, not hatred. Their words echoed in the quiet night, a promise of peace and a new beginning. The next day, the Empress held a great gathering. Warriors, leaders, and citizens from many worlds came together. She spoke of unity and courage, of strength that comes from love and respect. And she spoke of Jason, the human who changed everything. Jason stepped forward and spoke to the crowd. My friends, we have seen what power can do when used for war. But today, we choose a different path, a path of peace, understanding, and hope. Together, we will build a future where all can live without fear. The crowd cheered. A new hope filled their hearts. The silent human had become a great leader, not by fighting, but by showing the true power of the heart. As the sun set on Zolaria, Jason and the Empress looked to the stars. Their journey had only just begun. But they knew, together, they could face any challenge. The heart stolen without a fight was the greatest victory of all. And the galaxy would never be the same again.